how do you turn something like this into something like this? Or maybe into something like this. In this lesson, we're going to look at reharmonization and chord substitution. And I apologize in advance if the audio is not that good. I'm just filming it on my webcam. And if I get any of the chord names wrong, because I keep doing that and I keep refilming it and I can't be bothered anymore. I'm just going to edit it in post-production. Anyway, if you're creating your own arrangements of other people's songs, there's going to be lots of different chords that you can play over a melody in the song. In this lesson, we're going to look at the ending of the jazz standard All the Things You Are. This is a bit more advanced than my usual lessons, so it might be difficult to understand, but I'll include guitar tab examples and hopefully you'll still be able to learn something from the video. And for my subscribers that have been watching my basic music theory for guitarists videos, this lesson will hopefully demonstrate why learning the chords in a key can be useful. So this is the melody at the ending of the song All the Things You Are. And the chords that are played over that melody are usually a B flat minor 7, an E flat 7, and an A flat major 7. That's why I keep getting chord names wrong when I'm filming this, because it's in the key of A flat. Lots of the chords are flat chords and I just keep forgetting to say flat. Anyway, I'm not going to do a B flat major 7. Sorry, a B flat minor 7. I am going to do a B flat minor 7. I don't know what I'm on about. I'm going to do a B flat minor 7. And then I'm going to do this chord here instead. Okay, this is an E flat 7 sus2 add 13. Right? It's not as complicated as it sounds, okay? To say, at least, okay? It's really, I'm just barring all the strings on fret 6 apart from the E string, and then I'm just playing fret 8 on this E string at the bottom, okay? The thin E string. And then I'm going to do just a regular A flat major. So I'm going to play it like this. And that's the example that we're going to change, okay? So, I'm finger picking these chords. So I don't always have to do like A flat major like that. I could play it like that, or like that. And I'll do that quite a lot, usually just because I'm finger picking the chords, so I can pick and choose which notes I'm going to play with this hand right here. And I'll also do chords like that, so I can use my little finger to do melodies in between, which is quite common for a lot of these chord melody kind of songs. So let's look at some ways to alter the chords. I'm going to put some rules to follow at the end of this video. For now, let's just look at some examples. So this is example number 1. So, I've only changed the last chord, and why does that work, or why do I think it works? It kind of works, okay? There's loads of other options that you can use, but I've played that exactly the same, and then I've ended on an E major 7. So, E major 7 has an A flat in the chord. Hear that there on the B string, and the melody ends on an A flat note. So I've just found a chord that also has an A flat note in it, and that's it. So I've just used a chord with the same note as the note at the end of the melody. I'm going to play that again. And I could also look for a different chord that also has that note. that's one example. I'm not going to tab all these examples, okay? I'll just show you the basic idea and then explore a little bit, see what else I can find. Or you could do this. Okay. Let's look at example number 2. So this is going to be a bit more detailed. So example number 2 is this. Okay, so it starts off the same as example number 1. With the first 2 chords the same. E major 7, but then I go to B major 7, and then I go to A flat major 7. So, what am I doing there? Well, when I did this, and I got to E major 7, it feels like it should go somewhere else. Like it feels like it shouldn't end on that one. So I've just found another chord that is in the same key, which is B major 7. Okay, so E major 7 is in the key of B major 7. So they both fit together pretty well. So that's why I went to B major 7. And then why did I go to A flat major 7? Partially because I'm trying to find a way back to that key or that chord. Okay, I want to end the song on an A flat major 7. That's like the home key, A flat. So I want to end on some sort of variation of an A flat major chord. And this chord can go to that chord and still sound relatively good because they both have this note, which is an E flat note. So B major 7 has an E flat there, and A flat major 7 also has that E flat note. So I'm just going to explain that again. So I've gone from here, I've used E major 7 because the melody in the song ends on an A flat, that chord has an A flat in it. I've gone to B major 7 because it's in the same key as E major 7, and then I've gone to A flat major 7 because it shares a note with B major 7. Okay. Now, there's so many different ways that you could do that. I'm thinking of it like it's a puzzle. It's a puzzle, and I'm trying to get back to some sort of A flat major chord in whatever way I can, you know. So again, I'm not going to tab this, but the one I showed you before with F minor 7, to me it sounds like it wants to go there, and then maybe there. Okay, back to A flat major 7. F minor 7 would actually work pretty well because that's in the key, and then if I go to this one, which is an B flat minor 7, that's also in the key. And then I can resolve on A flat major 7. You don't always have to stay in the key though. You can go in and out the key as long as it sounds good. Okay, if it sounds good, it's a basic good rule to follow. If it sounds good, don't worry about the theory, just do whatever works. So one of the examples I showed you just showed a chord that shared a note with a melody. Okay, how far could you take that? Well, you could find loads of chords that all share notes in that melody until you eventually get back to some sort of A flat major chord. Okay. And obviously I'm keeping this as simple as possible, but you could add different rhythms to this, you know. You know, especially with the one where I did that kind of thing. skipped a chord there, but anyway. So that's example number 2. Let's look at example number 3. So example number 3 sounds like this. Okay, so what did I do there? Well, this is the melody on one string. And I've just found a chord that includes notes of that melody. Most of them are in the key. So there's one that's not in the key. So I've got B flat minor 7 is in the key, also has that melody note. C minor 7 is in the key, has that melody note as well. D flat major 7 is in the key, has the note in the melody as well. This one is not in the key. This is D minor 7 sharp 5. However, the only note that's not in the key is this D note on fret 10 on the E string at the top. The next chord, E flat 7 add 13, that's in the key, so that's fine. And then I'm resolving on an A flat major chord. Again, just a normal A flat major chord. I'm doing like a C bar chord shape for that. So it sounds like this. And that's all the examples. Now, I'll show you some rules to follow in a sec, but you could take that so far. You could combine some of these and just see how far you go with that. You know, just get creative with it. And like I said before, one of the reasons that one, to be fair, didn't sound that good. One of the reasons I don't want to show you too many examples is because I want you to do your own versions of these. I want you to kind of make up your own arrangements of songs. So let's look at the rules to follow. Rule number 1. Use chords that are in the key of the song. So usually it would be B flat minor 7, E flat 7, A flat major 7. But I changed that E flat 7 into an E flat 7 sus2 add 13. And then instead of doing A flat major 7, I just did A flat major. Okay, so they're all in the key anyway. Rule number 2. Use chords that include notes from the melody. These might not be chords in the overall key. So I started off with B minor 7, or B flat minor 7, then E flat sus2 add 13, which are both in the key of A flat, but then I played E major 7, not in the key of A flat, and I just found a way to get back to the key of A flat. Okay, which goes on to my third rule. Use chords that are in the same key as the previous chord. This does not mean they'll be in the same overall key as the song. So again, they're in the key, that's in the key, this is not in the key, but this chord is in the same key as the chord I just did, E major 7, and then I found a way to get back to A flat major 7. So again, think of it like a puzzle. You're just trying to get back to there whatever way you can. Rule number 4. Use chords that are related in any other way. They could be related because they both have the same root note, like D major 7 has the same root note as D minor 7. They both start with a D note. Or because they're the same shape. Okay, so an example of that would be like A major 7, A flat major 7, same shape. Okay, I'll do a different one. So they're related just because they are the same shape. And then the last rule, this is the most important rule, just use your ears. If it sounds good, don't worry about the theory behind it. Just because you follow the previous rules doesn't guarantee that it will sound good, okay? So just use your ears. So for example, this, I could go, that doesn't really sound that good to me. So they don't sound good. They still follow the same rule that they're using a note in the melody, but it doesn't sound that good, okay? And that's about it. I would just experiment with this, learn some new chord shapes, and just find different ways to get back to some sort of A flat major chord. Quite like this one. So that's about it. That's the lesson. Hopefully you've learned something. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe.